JK Rowling slammed a new transgender bill that would lower the age at which a person can legally change their gender to from 18 to 16, a move that she said will hurt the most vulnerable women in our society. The First Minister of Scotland, Nicola Sturgeon, introduced a gender recognition reform bill that allows a trans person to legally change their gender and receive a new birth certificate with their gender on it through easier means than before. The author said, the law Nicola Sturgeon's trying to pass in Scotland will harm the most vulnerable women in society, those seeking help after male violence/rape and incarcerated women. Statistics show that imprisoned women are already far more likely to have been previously abused. Rowling followed up her post noting that multiple women's groups have presented well-sourced evidence to Nicola Sturgeon's government about the likely negative consequences of this legislation for women and girls, especially the most vulnerable. And as we know, JK Rowling has been on this sort of crusade, and I say that in the most positive way possible, for a long time. And as she was going back and forth about this on Twitter, someone hit her with the thing that I'm very familiar with, which is the old, are you sure you want to die on this hill? And a woman by the name of Wanda said to JK Rowling, you really want your legacy to die on this hill, JK Rowling? And Rowling responded, yes, sweetheart, I'm staying right here on this hill, defending the right of women and girls to talk about themselves, their bodies, and their lives in any way they damn well please. You worry about your legacy, I'll worry about mine. I mean, this is real courage from JK Rowling, and I'll always give her credit for it, even though if she were ever made aware of who I am, she would probably hate my guts and disagree with everything that I say, except on the topic of gender. And even on the topic of gender, she'd probably disagree with most of what I say, because she's not even taking the position that transgenderism itself is sort of like incoherent. At least she's not openly taking that position. She's taking a much more minimalist approach to this, and really focusing on the ways that, women, the children are indoctrinated into it, the way women's sports teams are being invaded, locker rooms and prisons and that sort of thing. But even that minimalist approach to this issue will still put you in line for an unimaginable avalanche of hatred and outrage, especially if you're someone like JK Rowling, as famous as she is, and famous not in, conservative media, but famous mainstream, having cultivated this fan base, many of whom, are leftists. And she has chosen, just because she believes in this issue, she has chosen to, she's got $1 billion, but she's chosen to do something that's going to alienate many of her fans. It's going to hurt her career prospects going forward, and it's going to detract from her bottom line. And I guarantee it already has. And even if you have $1 billion, even if you have money and power, we've seen that it takes courage to do that. And that is courage that almost no one in our culture has. To do something because it's the right thing, knowing that you will not benefit from it in any way. You're not going to benefit financially. You're not going to benefit with more fame. JK Rowling can't get more famous than she already was. You're not going to benefit by all the applause and adulation you receive, because instead you're going to be mocked and jeered. Almost no one has the courage for that. Well, I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Matt Walsh Show. If you did, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right down there so you can stay up to date on all of our future content.